And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips.
And I'm Terry Moran, and our top story at this hour. From the paper trail to the porn star, things are getting hotter in a Manhattan courthouse today, where former President Donald Trump came face to face once again with adult film actress Stormy Daniels, the woman whose encounter with him is at the center of this criminal case.
Daniels took the stand and described in detail the alleged sexual relationship between the presumptive Republican nominee and herself, and the subsequent hush money that prosecutors say she was paid in exchange for her silence. This comes as the judge is shutting down a move by Trump's team for a mistrial. Attorneys arguing that Daniels' explicit testimony today having nothing to do with this case, but the judge ruling otherwise.
So let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin just outside the court, along with executive editorial producer Duane St and former Manhattan prosecutor Jeremy Saland. So, Olivia, the defense's cross-examination already off to a combative start. We hear what's happening.
Combative is exactly the word I was going to use, Terry, and I think to no one's surprise, after the morning that we saw in the courtroom, Trump's attorney Susan Necheles is starting to pepper Stormy Daniels with questions, often getting into a bit of an argument with her, and the judge having to step in to please remind her to allow the witness to answer the question before she jumps back in. And a subject that she has recently laser focused in on is a lawsuit that Stormy Daniels filed against Donald Trump, a failed lawsuit, one that she lost and was ordered to pay Donald Trump's attorney's fees and has not done so. And Trump's attorney has shown tweets to the jury of Stormy Daniels saying that she would rather go to jail than pay Donald Trump a dime. So she is playing up on that hatred that Stormy Daniels has repeatedly shown that she has for Donald Trump, and has even said on the witness stand that she has for Donald Trump, and trying to poke holes in her testimony, apparently as someone that has an axe to grind, and potentially as someone that would say whatever they need to hopefully, in her mind, get Donald Trump convicted of a crime.
So what exactly has the former president's demeanor been like in court, John? I mean, just reading the last comment read aloud by Trump's attorney, where Daniels tweets out calling him, can't even believe that I'm saying this, an orange turd. So I guess it's not all tension in the courtroom. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous.
It's one word for it. It's getting insane would be my word for it. I think all of this is just cannot make up, right? The fact that those are the questions, those are the words. I mean, I didn't get to have as much fun with the two of you today. I got to use all different words with Macedo earlier in the day. But it's all just something that you can't make up, that you would think that we're talking about STDs and, you know, what it's like to work in the porn industry, and then all the other details that I can't say, otherwise my mother will find me and put some soap in my mouth. But it's really something that to think it's Donald Trump, a guy that ran the free world and wants to do it again, that we're having all of these words and conversations in a courtroom just makes it all the more remarkable. Look, for as far as Trump and Eric Trump, because he's in the courtroom too, supporting his father today, their demeanor is like father, like son. They're not looking. Their heads are down. They're turning their bodies every which way. Earlier in the proceedings, before lunch, Eric Trump was tweeting out, writing in all caps at one point, extortion. I mean, he's not part of the gag order. That may have to change. But I do think that Donald Trump was prepared for many moments of this trial, right? He was prepared for many of his longtime employees at his company, the Trump Organization, to take the stand, and knew that many of it would be hard for him to hear because Donald Trump, as we all know, values loyalty above anything else. So any person speaking out against him, including employees that worked for him for decades, was going to be a hard day. Michael Cohen was the guy that would fix a mess like this for Donald Trump. He's the one that brought Donald Trump to this mess. So that will be a very hard day for him. But Stormy Daniels, he doesn't know too well, right? I mean, they had a very infamous interaction now, but not somebody that he was around a lot. He hasn't seen Stormy Daniels in many years. The last time the two saw each other, she said it earlier in testimony, was 2007. So to think that this is where they meet again, and this is the conversation, and there's absolutely nothing Donald Trump can do about it. He can't get up, he can't take a bathroom break. Where he is and how he is all dictated by Judge Juan Merchan right now, and that is to sit in that courtroom and hear every excruciating detail of this all.
Yeah, what a moment. Thank you for that, John. And Jeremy, I want to go to you, and I want to make you Donald Trump's lawyer for a second. And I warn you, based on the track record, it's going to be a miserable experience, and you're not going to get paid.
I'm going to get fired.
And you're going to end up getting fired. But seriously, what is the defense's goal in cross-examining Stormy Daniels here, and how do you think they should go about it? I'm asking for that expertise.
So it's all about credibility and honesty. They asked her about whether she thinks this is funny, whether she's going to make money off of this. The fact that she had a lawsuit where she owes him $100,000, she hasn't paid it. We heard about the $125,000 tell-all or whatever it may be with Peacock. So there's an agenda here. Agenda. It's kind of like object. This is their theme, but you also can be too aggressive. And if you're too aggressive and you overspeak and you overtalk the witness, you make yourself become the center of attention. And that's not what you want. You want the jury to like you as the attorney and not like the person you're cross-examining. To see that agenda, to see that goal, and that reason why they're there is not for the truth. It's because they want to see accountability, even if that accountability is wrong. So I think that they need to slow it down, and they need to take the pause and really work methodically through, and there's a lot of material there because they no doubt scoured the internet and got all the material they could in terms of her background and what she's done, but they need to be very methodical and slow about it, not overspeaking her, do not become the center of attention, and move this forward. And I think they can, but there's a lot of moving pieces here because remember, last but not least, it's not, Stormy Daniels is kind of somewhat of the story, but kind of a sideshow because she's not the falsification of business records. She's not the crime. She's maybe the catalyst, but she's not the crime.
Yeah, that's the point the defense was trying to make in trying to keep her off the witness stand. That was really helpful, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And so let's go to Olivia about the jury as they're hearing this cross-examination, growing so combative, growing this extraordinary testimony. What are we hearing, and what have you observed about the jury?
The jury, pretty fascinatingly, Terry, does not actually show that much reaction. I spoke earlier about the one time where Stormy Daniels talked about the moment that she emerged from the bathroom in Donald Trump's hotel room and saw him nearly all undressed on the bed. And you saw one juror sort of raise their eyebrows, apparently in surprise. But they don't actually show that much. But what they do show is just how carefully they are listening to the testimony that has been unfolding. They look right at Stormy Daniels. They look back at the prosecutor at times. If you can imagine someone watching a tennis match, looking from side to side, that is often how closely they follow along with the exchanges going on between the witness and the prosecutor or the defense attorney questioning them. And they laser focus into the little monitors that they have in front of them, which shows them the evidence, whether it's Donald Trump's apology video, a Stormy Daniels tweet. They are always looking at it, and they have been paying very close attention throughout this entire trial, which is something I think likely prosecutors and Donald Trump's team have both been taking notice of.
Yeah, a lot of people taking notice of all the details. Stormy even talking about the former president's DOP kit. Apparently, he's an Old Spice guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember Pert shampoo from the 70s?
But Old Spice from the 70s as well, updated. But.
Yeah, he's a little, he's a little vintage when it comes to how he travels, apparently.
Choose what you like, you stick with it.
So, John, what more can we expect from cross-examination?
Well, I can expect to tell you that I also like Old Spice. But anyway, moving on. Look, I think that it's going to be a little, ending right now because, as we've all noted, so much of Stormy Daniels' timeline in this, as far as the details of the center of the cases we were just speaking about a couple moments ago, is rather limited. So I think that we're coming down there as far as, the nitty-gritty of it. I think there will be some things now about Michael Avenatti. We know that that's something that prosecutors probably brought up preemptively to get ahead of because they know they have a Michael Avenatti problem here, that being the one-time attorney for Stormy Daniels, who very famously tried to fire back at Donald Trump until he literally self-imploded, and he's currently, not practicing law anywhere. So I think that that's probably where we're going. But I would think after today, I would expect we don't see Stormy Daniels back in this courtroom, Kara.
Oh, but it was so interesting. Olivia, John, Jeremy, thank you all very much. Really appreciate it.